Hello, everyone, and welcome to the GPU podcast, Gamers Process Universe. I'm your host, Jonathan Cole.
And I'm Shane Smither.
Eventually, we're going to get to the point where you don't freak out about saying your last name.
Right. It just feels weird to say it on the internet,
It is a little odd.
It's like your parents tell you your whole life to not talk to strangers, and now you're talking to literal strangers that you don't even know who they are. So it's just a little weird.
You're talking to at least possibly 6 viewers, because that's the typical expected.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we could eventually it might be more. Who knows? 1,000 viewers to come, and you'll be like, "Oh, great! I'm talking to so many strangers." But we're grown ups. We gotta take
The occasional pipe dream is healthy.
Yes, thank you for that. All right, so talking through today's podcast, the topics we will be covering today: one, playing games yourself versus playing games while streaming. Shane suggested this topic, so a little detail on that before we hop into this.
Yeah, I got a little something to say about that, and the mental energy you have to run a stream, even if there's not even anyone watching, or maybe especially because there's no one watching, and you're doing it for yourself, but on stream, and it's just this weird dichotomy of having to put more energy into it than you normally would when you're just playing it for yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that assessment, and we'll go into that much more to come. And then the second topic we'll be covering today is also along streaming. What makes a game good for streaming or not good for streaming? And so we have lots of room there to discuss and see what our guests think and what we also think about this. Because I will say there's some games that definitely it's like, oh man, this game is perfect for streaming, and there's other games that you're just wondering, really, you would stream that?
And a lot of times it just depends on the person streaming it.
There's that, and then there's also sometimes games that out there that shouldn't be streamed because they're a storyline game, and if you stream it, then that can ruin the experience for someone else that just wants to play the game.
Or maybe that person wants to experience it with you because they like your content and they don't want to pay for the game.
All these things to talk through and discuss, and we're looking forward to having a good old time here on podcast number 5. All right. We now have our guests join us. And first off, we'll start with Jordan. He's joining us again.
Hi.
And then we also have Corellia this time around.
Thank you for the invite.
And they both
have you aboard.
And they both have Twitch channels, so they are familiar with what we're talking about.
If you want to plug them, I normally put them in the description, but you can plug real quick if you want.
I mean, do you want us to plug now or at the end?
Yep.
Porque no los dos.
Okay. I stream on Twitch at Jarl_Davokin. That's JARL_DAVOHKIIN.
Link in the description.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely one that you need to click the link for.
And if you catch me shortly after listening to this podcast, I should be streaming Hellblade. As
for Corellia?
Yeah, anybody out there I'll be at twitch.tv/Corellia, KORRELIA, and after this I'll probably be trying to stream some warships or anything else we do afterward.
I think the plan is squadrons, but we'll go with that. All right. So going into today's topics, right off the bat, topic number 1: playing a game for yourself versus playing while streaming. Shane suggested this topic, so I'm going to let him take the lead on this. And we have some subsets to this to talk through as well. So go ahead and start us off, Shane.
Right. So for myself, it takes a lot more mental energy to stream a game than to just play it by myself. Even if there's not like viewers, it's a weird headspace that you got to be in to be like trying to be entertaining to other people as well as yourself. And some people are really good at it. They always have an internal dialogue that they can just make an external dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is when you don't have a chat, but you're trying to act like you do, there's this weird strain on your mental facilities. And then
you almost feel like you're going a bit nutty.
A little bit, yeah. And I'm sure when you actually have a chat to talk to, there's a difference, but
absolutely.
That's not happened for me yet, so
We're all pretty small streamers, honestly. So
Oh, we are.
I do it for fun, not for projected profit. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's the
nothing I'm
most
gonna make a
important thing.
career out of.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
think that's an important thing in this industry, like to go into is like, yeah, it's fun doing it as a hobby and just doing it for fun. But I mean, would any of us jump at the chance to be a full-time streamer? I think we would all be cool with that line of work, honestly.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
If that could be our full-time career. The flip side is, do we expect that? No, we are all just in this for the fun of making content and making something that we could look back on and like, oh, hey, that was fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
A large reason I like to do it is personal growth in the speaking category. Like, I mean, ask any of my friends from elementary school to now. I don't talk to strangers like ever.
You
Just
didn't
because
talk to us ever half the time.
right. Well, I was getting there too, but I'm not really a talker generally, and so I'm trying to push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit. And if strangers show up, then I can do my best to talk to them, even if it's just through a chat window.
Yeah.
You ever think about how that's like even applicable to this podcast? Is like, I mean, you're not talking to them any strangers directly, like going through, but I mean, this podcast is going to people that you don't necessarily know.
Well, I'm going to be thinking about that now. Thanks.
And now you've ruined everything. You scoundrel.
It's all over now.
You just hear a glass shattering noise in the distance. It's like that can never be repaired, but that's fine.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Back to the games. It throws this weird mental block in front of playing games that I'm like, this would be really fun to stream, but I don't have the energy to run a good stream right now, and I know that. So I'm gonna hold off from playing this game, and then months later, you still haven't started the game because you just haven't had a good time to do it yet, or maybe you just haven't had a good block of time to dedicate to a full stream, or you know, because if you're not streaming, you can just pause it and get back to it whenever you need to do that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, definitely.
so there's just a weird thing where you want to stream it, but you don't have the facilities to for whatever reason, and you just end up not playing it at all.
Yeah, I'll say you have to have like this energy built, and you like you're not being extroverted necessarily, but you kind of are. Like if you have this energy when you play a single player game. Like I don't play them often. I'm more of a multiplayer person myself. I mean, anyone who you will all testify to this. I was just telling Jordan, I really don't play single player games very often. However, there is a certain point where I'm like, I'll play like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and I just don't want to play with anyone. I just want to go through, mindlessly fight off enemies and go through and do my thing. And I think that's the same to streaming is like you really do need to have this mindset of like talking to people to like be extroverted in it.
Even when there's not anyone listening,
Yeah.
because there could be, you just don't know, or there could be later, or there could be for a very short time, but you weren't talking, and they're like, "Is there anything going on?" And then they just leave silently. So
Yeah, I remember when I first started doing Twitch streaming, I had one monitor, so I'm constantly tabbing out to check my
Your
my
chat.
stream just to see if there's anybody in the chat.
I'll say I'm guilty of being as small as I am. I one time missed a time when I got raided. Like I just was going along and all of a sudden there was like 18 viewers. I'm like, what?
ooh, that's rough.
And
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know how to handle this right now. I'm like, hey guys, welcome to the stream. And
See-
it's just like, oh hey, did he notice us? And it's like I'm 2 minutes late on noticing because I'm not used to looking at chat.
I think it's good to have two monitors if you're going to stream, honestly, or have it open
Yeah.
on your phone or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh
Because
yeah,
that way you can look at it. But even with that, like I still miss people popping into my chat because I just like whenever I'm playing a game, I have a problem if I'll get just so engrossed into it.
Tunnel
Like,
vision.
yeah, I'll get tunnel vision. I'll just forget that I'm streaming, and then I'll just look over and there'll be like a whole text wall of people trying to get my attention. I'll just be like, oh, oops,
Sorry.
Yeah.
sorry guys.
Exactly.
It's kind of funny. Like I'll try to get you guys' attention when you stream sometimes. Because I don't necessarily want to jump in if I don't need to, and so I'll like mention in the stream chat, and you just like 2 minutes later, oh hey, yeah, okay, I'll take care of that. Like just in
Yeah.
passing.
Pretty much.
I try my best to not look at viewer count and just pretend there's always at least one,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but always like glance at the chat box every 2 minutes or so.
Yeah. Always pretend that there's at least someone watching, and then occasionally just watch out for someone who's asking like a question or trying to initiate a conversation with me.
Yeah.
And that's
No.
one of the reasons it's a lot more mentally taxing than
Yeah.
playing by yourself in your dark room.
Yeah. Now, on another little bit of that, playing a game on stream or playing for yourself, one game series I love to play a lot is the Mountain Blade stuff, and I enjoy playing it by myself because I'll often pop open the developer console and just goof my character to the extreme. And
Mhm.
I've often thought, because the few times I've streamed this game, I've always tried to do it legit. Because I'm like, I feel like that's what people like to see is someone playing the game as it was intended and like managing to do really well. But at the same time, I feel as if people might also enjoy the goofiness that I do.
Maybe if you're just upfront about it and put in the title cheat stream or something.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I've had that thought about a bunch of different games. It's like, because some games when you're just by yourself, you'll just goof around and be a dork while playing them. But if you're like streaming and you know someone's watching you, you tend to like, I'm just
Try
gonna,
to take it seriously.
yeah, you try and
Yeah.
take you like professional up a little bit and be like, okay, I'm gonna do this seriously. I'm not gonna be a goof. And
That-
I enjoy playing games like that, like trying to take it seriously and be professional about it. But at the same time, I really just want to goof off in them. And I just have
I-
this mentality that I shouldn't be doing this, but really, some people do enjoy watching that quite a bit.
I think
Yeah.
the you should maybe, this is just an idea, but like if you had a specific like word or something you put in every single time you just mess around, goof, like you don't care about being hardcore into it, I think that would probably be beneficial. Like there's definitely people that would want to watch you do random shenanigans and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's why
That's
I've
the
also,
way I am when I stream BattleTech. Whenever I play it, it's either in my title, I'll either I'll say I'm doing a full-on career mode, or I'll put in there I'm playing it heavily modded.
yeah,
I gotcha.
It's good to set the viewer's expectations.
Yeah, no, I think that's that is something interesting because like part of it is for streaming for me, I almost like the part where I have to be weirdly creative for that stream title. Like I'll just come up with really stupid names, or I'll come up with really like funny ones to me. And it's like, or sometimes I'm just like, so World Warships. I put like War waits for no man, and like that's my stream title. It has war in it. World Warships is a war zone. It's like, but it's so stupid because it's like, okay, yeah, you're just gonna go in and play a battleship simulator. And
Yeah.
so it's not a crazy thing. Like you would think you'd put that in like Call of Duty and you're about to go like fight in the trenches or whatever, but no, I'm going in shooting battleships.
Just boating around.
Yep.
Yep.
I think getting back to just streaming for yourself or like just playing a game by yourself or streaming, there's another part of it too. And we kind of covered this already to some degree, but talking when you don't necessarily normally talk. Because I'll say in Among Us, like I've watched so many YouTubers, so many streamers play Among Us, and I love it when I watch them play it. But then whenever I'm playing it, I'm having to like take this thing where I mean I'm an external processor, so if there's someone in the room with me, I'll naturally start talking out loud without thinking about it, like just random thoughts. They may not be conversational in a sense, but I'm just talking for talking's sake because that's just how I process.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm by myself and I'm at my computer, I don't necessarily think like, oh, I should like externally process this right now. I think like, oh, I'm by myself. I'm thinking strategy. I'm thinking like the next move. And I don't want my opponents to know, like, if I'm doing something and like, for whatever reason, I get into this like, I'm in a box. No one knows my thoughts. No one needs to know my thoughts. And it's the exact opposite of what I should be doing in an Among Us stream. I should be saying like, I'm off, my mic's muted, going through, and I'm just talking through what I'm doing, and I'm like, ooh, what if I do this or what if I do that, and I'm just talking with stream. So like I should be doing that, and I just catch myself not doing it so often.
Yeah.
Same, honestly. I'm like that 100% of the time too. Even if there's someone else I'm playing with, I just kind of listen to them talk, and if I have something to say, I'll say it. But you know, most of the time, I'm just doing my own thing, listening to them play a game with me. You know,
Hmm.
I'm sure Jordan is very familiar with that when we play Borderlands.
Oh yeah.
I do find it actually kind of funny, like if you get the right people in your, so like say Among Us, for instance, you get the right group of people in there, and like it is so easy for me to just not talk for a little bit. I flip up my mic sometimes, and I just let Jordan and Ben or someone else just do all the talking, because my stream has audio still, or they're getting something funny out of it, but like I don't have to put any effort in. I can just listen to it all.
Yeah, it's one thing if there's other people having a conversation, but if it's dead air or if it's someone else talking to themselves, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like certain things lend itself to you wanting to talk more or less. I think some games do it that way. Um, and I really do. I want to play more games that are um, streamable and want to do these fun streams in them. But I mean, for myself, I'm limited on what I can stream, at least right now. So it's
I
hard.
expect big things from you when you get a better computer.
Same.
You're setting
I
the
will
bar real
be.
high.
Well, at the bare minimum, I'm gonna be able to stream content I really enjoy doing. So like Squadrons, I'll be able to stream that, and I can stream Modern Warfare, a game at this point where I can literally hop into multiplayer and get a decent kill round. Like Jordan, you have to at least like grant me that I'm decent at that game.
Yeah.
You're a Call of Duty Chad.
Sure, well we'll go whatever. But like there's these games that I've just invested tons of time of my life into already, just because like growing up, I always wanted to play Call of Duty, I always wanted to play Halo, and I sucked, absolutely sucked. And I'm at the point where I'm getting 30 kill rounds sometimes, and I'm like, I feel pretty good right now. Like I'm good at this.
That's me with Smash Bros.
Okay, yeah, you was well. Okay, I also get to claim something of that on Smash Bros. Because I went from you winning every time to you winning most of the time. So, small improvements.
Back to what you were saying about Among Us earlier, when you kind of go silent when the game is actually running and it's not like a discuss round.
Mm-hmm.
Smash Bros, you focus so hard when the game is actually running that you don't talk.
I have so much respect for the YouTubers like Little Z and Alpharad that they are playing next level and they are talking.
It's pretty hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, I do not. Alpharad is such a good Smash Bros. Player because he gives so much crap talk. He does not let them breathe. And if he ever goes to a tournament, I don't think he can win necessarily, but he's gonna make those pros like regret playing against him because he will talk their ears off.
It's its own skill set that is almost totally different from playing a game. Is
Yeah,
playing a
Very
game
much so.
while commentating
Yes.
humorously
Yeah.
or at all, really.
it's like you're not even using 100% of your brain. You're just like, and I'm going to devote the rest of my brain to talking to you.
Yeah.
I would like to develop that skill set, and that's why I'm streaming, even if there's 1 to 0 people in the chat.
See, I
Yeah.
can do that with a small number of games, and it's games that I've like put a bunch of time into and gotten really good at. Because then I can sort of just autopilot myself while I'm talking.
At that point, you kind of have to have something to say, though. Like if you've played a game a million times, it's almost like your shut off game. You know, there's not much to say if you've done it all.
Well, unless it's a game you really like, in which case you have a bunch to talk about.
That's true. And the flip side is like if you're going into a game and you're talking about it and you played it enough that you can talk and not think about it too much. That's like, I guess you could put it as like a podcast game. Basically, it's like this. It's like you're just playing it and having being able to talk, and people can enjoy gameplay or they can just enjoy talking.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
I think that's the goal.
I would agree.
Back when my internet was a little bit better and I had a little bit better streamability, that's how I was when I would stream Rust.
You were so used to the game itself that you didn't have to devote your brain power to it.
Exactly. I've gotten I think almost 4,000 hours in the game.
I don't think
Dang.
I have 4,000 hours in anything.
The
I
most I
don't-
have is Total War Warhammer 2, and that's only 1,600.
I don't know what I could
So,
possibly have that has
4,000
that many
hours. That's.
If you
But at the
took
same time, you are significantly older than the rest of us, so.
right, but Rust came out after we were born, and well
Yeah.
enough old to play it. So I
I've
don't think
only been
age has
playing-
a factor here.
Is
I
there
think
a
I've
way
been
to like
only
find
been
your most
playing
played
Rust
games
for
in Steam? Is there a way to find your most played games?
Yes.
Mhm.
Do you want me to tell you now or later?
I mean, just real quick, if it's not too many steps.
Click profile. You go to your profile name and then profile, and then on the right hand side, click games, and then it sorts it automatically by most played to least played.
Oh, dang. Okay. Yeah, so my most played on Steam, and this should come as no surprise to Jordan, is Destiny 2.
Yep, no surprise there.
You know, what's funny is Borderlands 2 is my third most played game.
You don't play a whole ton of games on Steam itself, though. You play a lot
That-
of Overwatch and
That is
Uh,
fair. I have at least like 40 hours, which is more time than I have in Borderlands 2. 40 hours on one character in Overwatch.
yeah, and then there's Warzone, which is also on the Blizzard launcher.
That is true. Yeah, okay. So Steam wise, it makes up most of my game library, but it doesn't make up the most played games in my game library.
My top 3 are Grand Theft Auto 5, Gary's Mod, and Stardew Valley.
how do you look at that again?
Click on your username. Actually, don't click on your username, but put your mouse over that and then click profile. And then on the right hand side, games. I mean, technically, my most hours is Clicker Heroes, but that's because I left it idling while I went to class.
I mean,
So-
yeah, that's
So I don't
whatever.
count that
But
one.
like, it's just interesting to see these games that like, and I think it also depends on the game itself, how much you play it versus like if you can talk through it. I don't know. It's just there's so much involved in streaming a game versus in playing it for yourself and just enjoying it that
Yeah.
there's just different levels involved there.
When you're streaming it, you have to have a constant stream of narrative, not even talking necessarily, but just like
Something happening.
yeah, there has to be
It's-
something happening. Whereas if
I-
it's just you can pause or veg out or spend an hour looking through your menus.
I think there's
No.
like two rules to streaming. Is like either you are the jokester, you are the one that can like make the jokes, you're the funny guy, and like all that in the game, or you are the pro, and you don't necessarily have to talk to and trance your audience.
Because your skills do it for you.
Yeah. So like that's why I think it's like yeah, I mean you're seeing it, and nowadays a lot of pro gamers are also streamers now.
Yeah,
Because if
Mhm.
you're
I know
playing
that.
that much,
Speedrunning is a huge community of people that are just really good at their respective games, so they stream them.
Oh
They
yeah.
stream their attempts trying to get the world record and stuff.
one of my favorite animators, Jane Animation, she did the first speedrun for this like really old Game Boy game that's like a cooking game.
Cooking Mama too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just like, what the heck? And like, I mean, she's the first one to have the whole record on it, I'm sure. Like, it's really, I think speedrunning is a really funny medium. I'm impressed every time I look at a speedrunner and watch a
It's-
stream of theirs or something. Like, it's insane.
Speedrunning in
I-
general is fascinating to me.
I'm
It is.
not a big fan of speedrunning because I've watched a lot of them do it, and the thing that I just don't like is they they go through and they use every glitch known to man to do it,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's a true speed run. That's kind of manipulating the system.
But that's
I
why they
mean-
have different categories.
Yeah,
like
that's
a
fair.
like a any percent glitch list would be the full game without clipping through walls and exploiting things. Whereas, yeah, you can also have an exploitation run, but
I would laugh if there's a game where that glitch is so prominent that like to not glitch is actually impressive.
Well-
Fallout 76.
You watch all the Mega Man speed runs. Oh my god, the glitches they use are so uncanny.
Hmm.
They
I
Metroid
think
Prime is like that too. They spend less time inside of the game maps than outside, I feel.
see
Well,
that's the
yeah.
flip side of like these games where you speedrun 'em. I think that's the funny thing about speedrunning. Speedrunning is the in effect you are spending as much or as little time as possible in a game so you can beat the game. So your job is to win by spending as little time in this game that you enjoy.
But that's not just speedrunning. That's golf. That's an age-old thing, is doing things as fast as you can
Yeah.
to show your skills.
Wait, what? Why did you bring golf there?
You play as The goal of golf is to play as little golf as possible.
I guess that's that isn't fair enough. Okay, yeah.
You could say
Checks
the
out.
same thing. You could say the same thing for football. You know, your offense. The goal is to get down to the end zone as fast as you can.
I think there's more nuance there, but yeah, the principle is it's not anything new, but it's just kind of funny to think about. Like that's the principle that you're going for.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, that's actually there's plenty of things in life where it's like the point is to do this as fast and efficiently as possible. Well, I mean, okay, I guess if you enjoy that, then sure.
Or if you enjoy other people showing their skills on how to do that, you can watch it on various streaming services, mostly Twitch.
Yeah.
To
I
go
think
back to our topic of Twitch.
Twitch is
Yes.
basically, I think, one, by the way, on like the Stream Wars.
Well, sure, but Facebook
there's-
exists too.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. I think Twitch lost when you can no longer easily multi-stream in the same scenario. Like I used to be able to stream to Facebook until OBS made it so you can't stream to multiple channels without paying.
Twitch is also having a lot of issues with content ID and stuff like that right now, though. So we'll see how that goes.
But in all fairness, YouTube had that for a while too.
Yeah, but
So,
Twitch
like-
doesn't give you the tools to see what has gone wrong. They just say you've got a strike. If you get two more, we're deleting your channel.
Well,
Yeah.
YouTube used to be that. I think this is Twitch is just going through the growing pains that YouTube went through back in the day.
The
What?
industry of streaming is regulating as it already exists, and it's causing a lot of people problems.
Yeah. There's just the Wild West is disappearing in this format. Like the content format is changing, so it's becoming much more like it already was professional. Like you definitely have professional streamers, but the format of how people consume the content, the format of how people go about making the content, all these things are becoming much more standardized.
It's become a popular enough platform and pastime that corporations want their cut, is basically the gist of it.
Which is like sometimes if someone brought up this, it was I think Stadia's game creator, like one of the founders in it. He was the Stadia game designer going through and like helping implement games. But he claimed he's like, really streamers should pay publishers to be able to stream their games. Because
that
it's
went
like
over well.
We do.
Well,
We buy the game.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
that's why. That's the big thing is like everyone literally lost. Like he was destroyed on Twitter, on Reddit. Everyone was giving him a heyday. It's like literally they're buying the game and they're giving these people free advertising. Is basically what's going on there.
Not only
It's-
that, but developers or publishers will literally hand free codes to streamers to promote their game.
Yeah. I think the big thing is like there are some games that should be streamed and should they like by all means developers please go to streamers that are popular and give away free codes and do all these things because it makes your game better. Like it legitimately makes people want to go after your game because there's this community involvement all of a sudden.
Well, yeah.
It's just built up.
That's how
but-
I actually got into Rust to begin with.
See,
I
yeah,
bet.
it works. There is the flip side though, and I will say this just as the devil's advocate for some of those developers that would probably hurt from this. Like games like Last of Us, it's a story-driven game. It's a game that you play through it, and you don't need to buy the game if someone plays through it for you. If you watch the streamer do it. So in that scenario, that could hurt the developer on actually getting any more games sold. And so
If
I can understand that viewpoint on it, but I still don't think it's like the majority rules there.
At that point,
Yeah.
I feel like the person who is no longer buying the game, they wouldn't have bought the game in the first place if that's all it took to not see it. Like if they're gonna buy it, they're not gonna watch it specifically to not be spoiled.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's just an opportunity cost that some developers might.
I feel like it's negligible. I mean, I'm not a business analyst, but my gut tells me that it's negligible.
I mean, I don't doubt it, honestly. It's just one of those things that, I mean, I try to pretend like I don't understand all sides of the picture. Like, there's no way I know what the developer is going through or what people are thinking through in these processes. But I
Same
don't
here.
want to be like the one that's like claiming something when I really don't know overall.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I'm not an analyst. It's just what I feel is logical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like, I mean, I think all of us would agree we are much more in favor of games being still like you pay for the game and you can stream it, and like that's how it operates.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at games like Among Us. That's a prime example of a developer that came up with this idea, knowing that it could turn into a Twitch sensation. And
Well,
they use Twitch to sell that pretty good, I think.
I mean, so
I think a lot of that was just luck on their part because it existed for 2 years before it became popular.
yeah, that's what I was about to say is like
Unless they
it's been
sponsored a
around
bunch
a
of
while.
people all at once.
I don't know about it exactly. Like Among Us is weird to me, but now that we're actually getting into this, let's just go ahead and topic 2 is what makes a game good for streaming or not good for streaming. Like specifically inside all this.
Yeah.
And
This-
so, I mean, Among Us has been killing it when it comes to streaming. Like people are still doing it. I thought it would be like Fall Guys. I think Fall Guys is a great game for streaming, but the problem with them was their content is too reliant on new content being published, and they can't bring it out enough content fast enough.
Yeah, you play Fall Guys for an hour and you've played the whole game.
Pretty much.
Yeah, to where you play Among Us with a group of people, and
Among
it's
Us-
that group of people you're with, and it never gets boring because there's always the banter.
Yeah.
I think the reason why Among Us works is because it's a game that is built off of the people you play with. You enjoy it as much as you enjoy the people you play with.
Exactly.
You can
Mhm.
the game changes if you change what people you play with.
Another weird thing about Among Us, I feel, is that it's not super stream friendly. Like you have to block the code on the screen. You have to physically mute yourself. There's a lot of outside things you have to do to make it work.
I
This is
think
true.
it's such a high maintenance game for streaming. But then the flip side is, I think it's just because Among Us in essence is a board game. It's a board game for people to be able to play online. It's COVID friendly. It fits all the criteria that 2020 needs for a game to go viral.
Yeah, it's like that. I mean, I guess you could say it's a card game, Mafia, where you're either the Mafia or the Citizen or the Angel or the Medic.
Yeah,
It's just
it,
that.
that's all it is. But it does it differently. It does it good. Like all the tasks, everything is like it's a pretty polished game in terms of like your actions and how things go.
But there's not really much of a game there though. The game is
There is not.
the game
Well,
is a
yeah.
setting for a conversation. It's not a game.
That's why it does so well. Is like what they did right is they made it simple, and then from there
Exactly.
they let everyone take however they want to go with it.
Also, it's super cheap, which helps a lot.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no,
It's
$3
either
or
free
$5.
or bucks. Yeah.
It's almost like watching Twitch streamers when they're streaming Pokemon Go.
People stream Pokemon Go.
Yep.
They do, and they have such a huge following.
It is a bit ridiculous.
Do they stream themselves like walking around, or is it just the phone
Yeah.
screen?
They dual screen. They'll be wearing like
Like a
They'll
GoPro
have-
or something.
a GoPro or something to record them, and then they use the phone's capture device to, capture all the video and stream it all.
I can kind of see that working, like a
Yeah.
adventure where Pokemon Go is the impetus, but it's not the point.
And it
Pretty much.
my son watches one, and the guy goes around the world and does he goes around the world playing Pokemon Go.
Okay, but like, who wouldn't want to? Like, I want to do that now. Like, I don't even like Pokemon Go. I mean, I still have it, so I guess I like it enough. but I don't even play it that much or do it much. But hey, if I had to go around the world and play Pokemon Go, dude, that's awesome.
That would be a insane dream job.
That would be.
It's like
And
here,
it's funny.
throw balls.
The subscribers they get, and you know that is what pays for all their travel stuff.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Imagine
there's-
the phone data bill from streaming.
Whew.
Yeah, but if you have an unlimited data plan and
Yeah,
whatnot.
you get that Google Fi, $70 a month for everything. There's ways to go about it for pretty cheap, I'm sure. Like especially considering
Yeah.
how much they make off of it.
especially if you can get them to sponsor you.
Your business
Oh, yeah.
expenses are literally, hey, I want this new phone. Hey, I got a whole following. You want to sell me your new phone, and I'll mention you in this, and then also like, oh hey, AT&T, you got this awesome plan. I'm gonna like say I got AT&T network for all this time. Like, just sell the sponsors, and you can do it for pretty much the viewer cost.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be a really effective sponsorship too. Like to see someone streaming wirelessly out and about.
Mhm.
Dude,
I
this is
can't even
what
stream hardly in my house sometimes.
I would have. I would be more inclined to go for the company that sponsors a stream of 5G across America, and like see how that works out for the streamer, than I would be inclined to just buy a company's new phone and get 5G.
That's what Ryan Reynolds should do with Mint Mobile.
Oh my
Or-
goodness, yes.
Or what do you think about what do you guys think about the Twitch? They will do a beach stream where they just basically show themselves in the water for 3 hours.
What?
I saw one earlier, and granted I know from it you can always get a good idea why they get these followers, but
Is it women
It's-
doing it?
yes,
Okay, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
but
that
there
makes more
was-
sense, but also makes my heart sink a little.
Yeah.
I saw
Humanity has fallen.
I saw one stream that popped across my recommendation one. So I'm like, okay, let's see if what they're doing, because it said just chat in. So it's
Yeah.
like they chat with their stream. I go in there, and there's 3,000 people watching the stream, and she is sleeping.
Isn't that against Twitch terms of service?
Well, no,
I'm sure.
and you can do donations and gift subs and everything, which will set off notifications and wake her up. You can wake her up by doing so many in donations.
That's
What
just
the
stupid.
Yeah, that's the
People
yikes
do
for
it
me.
though.
This is. Yeah, they aren't the smartest people in the world.
The people running the streams are super smart.
Oh yeah, no. Those people who are taking that much advantage of the system know what they're doing. Like they are so ahead of the game. But
Right.
like, I'm pained by this knowledge.
It,
Oh, yeah.
Makes me lose a little bit of hope in humanity, but
Yeah.
It's like, man,
And then you have the streamers, which are always just so sketchy. The ones that say, I have a disability, but yet they don't run a webcam, but they talk about it.
I am of the opinion that unless the streamer's life is like, and so, I mean, streaming has ups and downs. Like, there's the one guy that was streaming content, and the people saved his life because they called 911.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
there's good sides and the bad sides, but then like giving too much information on any form of media is always a bad thing.
if
And then-
if your stream is about your disability, you should probably I don't want to say exploit it, but like
You don't want to call them out on it either, and then be that guy.
I feel
But
like that's like the ultimate exploitation of that. Like, if you're going to be like, yeah, I'm disability, and then you make money off of that. I mean, congrats to that dude. Like, whoever they are, that's cool.
yeah,
Like,
disabled people got to make money somehow. If they find a way, more power.
Here's my little opinion on that. For people who stream and have a disability, like, good on you and everything. But the people that stream and have a disability and try and make their money off of pity for that, like solely off of like
that's
just
not
people's pity, that's what I'm not okay with.
no.
Especially
Yeah.
if they don't also prove that they have that disability.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
there's one streamer I've been watching. She's gotten fairly famous over the last little while. And like she has a rather serious medical condition and everything, but she doesn't like use that to make her money or anything like that. That's just why she's always on streaming all the time, because someone asked her once why, and she said that, and that was about the only mention she ever made of it, really.
So that
really-
I endorse that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's classy.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. And I think that's also like if you're a streamer and there's like, so I'm not gonna pretend like I'm someone who really needs streaming. Like, yeah, streaming's fun, and if I could do it full time, I think I would like it. But
it's a
I'm
hobby.
not. Yeah, it's a hobby, and it's not like this is everything to me. But like, you gotta like people who have those circumstances where streaming is what they do because it's what they can do.
They don't have
That's
much else
awesome.
in their life going on.
Yeah.
We live in an era where that's a thing, where you can make your money doing something even if you can't do most other things. And I kind of love that.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they don't make it gross.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yes.
And I mean, there's so much controversy involved with, I think, a lot of streaming and a lot of people. I try to stick away from that news because I hear about it enough just by watching YouTubers or whatever, and they're like, "Oh man, this news happened." I'm like, "Great, I just want to watch the game." So it's just you got all these different aspects of it, and it's interesting to see what I think streaming also just pushes what we have as the newest and biggest thing. Streaming is always pushing what's coming next. Like you will always see a streamer with a new game first, and then the game will get popular.
Yeah.
So like Among Us was really good for a while, and then it was, or not Among Us. Fall Guys really good for a while, and then it wasn't. You had Among Us, which is still going strong, and it's because of the type of content it is. And then you have other games. You have the more AAA tiles type games, which I mean, honestly, most of the time I don't see that many amazing streams recently that are really those games, unless you're like a well-known entity.
Rocket League.
Dude, Rocket League is never gonna die.
Rocket League is like a platform at this point.
Pretty much.
It's
Like,
ascended its video game status.
If I could actually play a Rocket League, like I can't play Rocket League. I can play knockoff Rocket League, which is Lucio Ball and Overwatch.
Well, how much time have you put into Rocket League?
I'll put it this way: it's not so. I consider Star Wars Squadrons a kind of hard to manipulate the fighter, and like there's a skill level there. I think Rocket League has a higher skill level.
I don't disagree, but like, for instance, I can't free climb mountains, right? But I have also never put time into trying to do that, so it's
well, I mean, the thing is, like, it just doesn't appeal to me to try to put in the time, I guess.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Like, I probably could, but the flip side is, like, I'd have to like it as much as I like the experience in Squadrons and other stuff. And maybe when it first came out, I would have had a chance to learn like everyone else and like grow my skills. But I've seen what college age students are doing in that game, and they haven't been playing very long. They've been playing for a month or two. And there was a tournament at my college last year before COVID happened, and it was crazy. I was watching these things, I'm like, dang, I can never pull that off. Like, not even like I have played the game and I know I am physically incapable of doing that sequence of button and movements to pull off what they pulled off.
Yeah.
But those people also weren't like wearing signs that said, I've put this much time into this game and I've put off these things that I should have probably been doing in my life to do it.
I mean, yeah, but I mean,
there's a story behind their skills.
I think that's the case with anyone, really. I mean, there's a reason why I can go into Destiny 2 multiplayer PvP and absolutely wreck someone's face.
For sure.
But that doesn't change the fact that, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where you don't get to pick what game is the best. I think is the other thing about streaming. You can choose to play a game if it's new and like see if people like it. but I feel like it's almost a chance to a certain degree. There's elements of each game that gets popular on Twitch, that like is a big deal, but it's up to the audience and up to you as the streamer on how far it will go.
Yeah, and going back to the Fall Guys thing, I don't know if it's just me, but I tried watching a few Fall Guys streams when it was the big thing, and they were incredibly boring to me. Like I know a lot of people got a lot of views and everything with it, but I'm not sure if new people would be able to pull in that kind of views unless someone popular raids you or whatever because you are also playing it. But
Yeah.
I will
there's
say
not a lot there unless people are already following you.
Ben
know?
and I got really into it, and I will say I didn't watch streamers of Fall Guys. I watched YouTubers of Fall Guys. And I think that's the difference. Is yeah, I don't think watching the game all the time, like continuously going through, is that great unless they're winning every time.
Yeah, if you
But
edit out all the losses, that's different.
I mean, or just make sure you keep in the parts that are funny or like dumb and something.
Yeah, there's a lot of downtime to Fall Guys.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why I think it's also a good stream. Like it's a weird mix of, yes, it's not the most enthralling game unless you are really good at it. But the flip side is all that downtime, you can be reading chat, you can be interacting with your community.
If you have a community, though, that's what I'm saying. Is you had to
Well-
already have been a big streamer for Fall Guys to have helped you,
Yeah, no, I would say that's a fair assessment.
or for you to
Um,
have helped Fall Guys. Goes both
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah, that's true. My favorite YouTuber, or one of my favorites, AlphaRad, he freaking killed it at Fall Guys. Like goes in and he is talking it up, he's destroying people, and like he's the guy that was like at the end of Fall Mountain, he just like pushes someone off the side
Oof.
because he could. Like he literally is just like, I don't care if I win or lose right now. I'm just gonna make everyone else lose.
It's funny to see happen to someone else, but if that was you, I am
Oh
so
yeah, no,
sorry for whoever that
you're
was.
just like oh, you're the worst person, but like at the same time this is hilarious to watch.
Yeah.
So I think it's all about the streamer and what they do with the content also. So that's why I liked it so much, was I was like, I may not be playing this right now, but man, that's funny to watch.
So to go back to the topic, what makes a good game for streaming or not good for streaming? Well, it seems like it's largely up to who is streaming it and what they're doing with it.
Yeah.
I would say that's a fair assessment. Like, you don't have someone who is a competitive gamer go and do something like Among Us necessarily, or someone like Fall Guys. I mean, they can make it
Actually-
competitive.
Yeah, it could be really funny to see like a group of 10 people that are super, sweaty about playing Among Us.
Okay, I will say, okay, yeah, that was Fall Guys is a example where yeah, both those were wrong examples. I'll say that right now because I watched Alfred was in a tournament for like the most wins in Fall Guy in 2 hours, and they like destroyed and like won by a large margin, and it was really fun to watch that. And then like to see like super competitive people play Among Us, yeah, that's pretty funny to watch.
Yeah.
But like for myself, games like that where it's just you play it to turn your brain off and maybe win a couple rounds.
Mhm.
I don't feel like that's good for me personally streaming. I feel like I enjoy better being a tour guide through a game rather than a player in a match, so to speak.
Yeah.
I like enjoying what the developers put into their narrative rather than the
You-
competitive nature of it.
Yeah, you enjoy the story more.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, I mean, just between us three, and I don't, Curly, I haven't watched your games as much, but you tend to play the same games as me, so maybe you're the same boat as me. But, like Shane, it's kind of interesting when you think about this podcast, or for that matter, just our YouTube channel, because like you, me, and Jordan all upload to our archive videos to that channel. But if you watch our videos, there is a stark contrast between what you put on versus what I put on versus what Jordan puts on.
Yeah, I just played a 3D platformer adventure game a while ago, Pumpkin Jack.
I mean, one of the big stark contrasts is I've only put up like one thing.
Well, yeah, but like
I keep forgetting.
back when we were on Creature Core, and we had even stark contrast then.
Yes.
And when you don't even upload to it, but like your streams are also a stark contrast to what I do. Like I am almost exclusively multiplayer, match by match. I want a game where I hop in, play well, or I do bad, and then I can hop out and go into the next thing.
Yeah.
And I want a
Um,
game where I can sink into a narrative and a, a story of, or even the gameplay mechanics, like Pumpkin Jack jumping around, slashing uh, ghouls and stuff.
You
You
kind
know,
of you
Yeah.
want to have a game where I think it's like similar to reading. It's like Shane, you want to be able to enjoy the game same as you read a series. You just want to go into it and keep going.
yeah, I like having a definitive endpoint with a lot of my stuff. Sea of Thieves is like the one outlier, and also Smash Bros.
But like those are just different games from different people you'll play with, and also like different times in life.
I still play
Yeah.
both of those now.
Well, I'm referring to like, well, Sea of Thieves is you play it because you have people that you enjoy playing with to a certain degree. And then Smash Bros is a similar, but you also grew up with it, and so you have like invested already into this.
Yeah, putting solo time into Smash Bros isn't really my thing. That's why I
Yeah.
still haven't even finished the technical story mode.
I have not finished World of Light either. And yet we both have played tons of hours into that game, and we both have like all the new characters we played as all of them.
I keep meaning to play through the story mode. Maybe I should stream it to motivate myself to actually finish it.
You are one of the few of us that can actually stream that.
That's true. Yeah.
Also, just as just a curiosity, because I honestly would be awesome if Ben would stream this, I would watch it. If he nuzlocked World of Light,
He doesn't have a capture card, unfortunately.
I know, but like I still would be totally down for watching someone nuzlock it, because I already watched Alpharad nuzlock his.
I mean, maybe I could nuzlock it.
I'd be up for watching that.
I would need to finish it legit first, though.
That's fair. But yeah, no, it's just there's so many things about streaming that like we already said it's not the Wild West anymore because there's so much protocols being put in place, but it kind of still is with like what content gets like people prefer.
I think a lot of what gets newer people noticed is the challenges they put for themselves. Like just playing variety content is a hard way to grow an audience, but if you like are upfront about your zany challenges and stuff, I feel like that's a good way to stand out amongst the crowd.
I think that's
Such as a
challenges
Nuzlocke.
get people really into it really fast. I don't know. I think it just depends on who you are personality wise. If you're one of the ones that can like do the zany challenge and then do that, like that's your stick, that's the thing that's going to get you views and get you people to watch you. Or maybe you're someone who is very much the hardcore, like you are into playing the competitive side of it, and you're all about like the mad plays and the 360 no scope or whatever else. Like you are putting the time in on that front. People will respect and watch that content too.
Assuming
Well-
you have skills and you're not just constantly going through a meat grinder.
Yeah.
Okay, but you gotta. I have to at least say I've probably watched Meat Grinder too. If they like are,
If they're funny about it, yeah.
if you're funny about it, be the Meat Grinder.
But watching someone just rage continuously is not my idea of a good time.
Nah. But I mean, it might be someone's. You never know.
Maybe, but
I don't think it would be a
Yikes.
majority though. So
if someone
yeah.
enjoys that, I don't think I want to know them because they are clearly a sadist.
Oh gosh, yeah. No, I think that the cool thing about streaming is video games are very varied, like high variety and high content. And with streaming any of them, you have high variety and high content.
Hmm.
And what's also kind of interesting is like, does Twitch do non-video game stuff?
Yeah, plenty of it. There's board games, there's just chatting, there's art, there's music.
Okay, so you just listed off all the things that like make sense to me, but like I'm thinking from the YouTube perspective is like I know a lot of bloggers and stuff, but that makes no sense on Twitch.
Well, like Corellia mentioned earlier, there's people walking around playing Pokemon Go, where Pokemon Go is probably like it's a reason to be there, but it's not the point of being there if you understand.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's actually pulling people in is being outside, seeing all the stuff they get up to.
So
which is
I think
basically just vlogging with Pokemon in the background.
my question, and we kind of already gone through this, but like going back to what makes a game good versus not good for streaming, like what is a not good game for streaming?
Again, I feel like it depends on the person, but if it is
Yeah.
super
Raunchy.
super well, yeah, that. But I was going for story focused. Like I tried to stream Tales from the Borderlands once, and I found that I had nothing to say because I was basically just reading a virtual book.
Yeah. That'd be a better thing for like a YouTube or something.
Yeah, I had nothing to add to it, basically.
Yeah, that's fair.
So basically any Telltale game, unless you're just purposely being over the top or
Telltale is what I would consider the game that should never be streamed. Like they went under, and I think it's because they were streamed so much that people didn't buy the game.
I think it was more of poor management. I mean, it was a lot of stuff, but yeah,
okay, it's not the sole reason, but it's probably I think a reason.
I'm sure it probably had some sort of factor in there for that.
It's just there's so many things involved in this, and I mean I think it's cool that actually is part of it though. Like there's so many facets to video games and to what we go through with streaming them that there's all sorts of people who can watch it. And I think the hard thing is knowing what people will want to watch. Like that's what determines if you can be a big streamer or a small streamer.
I think I can say with pretty much 100% assurance that nobody really wants to watch a puzzle game unless you're like top in the world at Tetris. Then that might be interesting, but like no one wants to see you do a Sudoku, you know.
I never thought I would like watching Tetris, and then I watched the Odd Ones Out play Tetris, and I'm like, oh shoot, this guy's a pro.
Or if it's like competitive Tetris, like Tetris 99, that's also different. But
dude, that was but
like imagine watching someone play Picross or something. Like that would be so boring.
Play what?
Picross?
I don't know.
It's like a think of Sudoku ish, but also you're drawing pictures.
Okay.
With your bubbles.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I can see how that's not something you'd really stream.
It's Sudoku mixed with Minesweeper is the best way I know how to put it. And once you're done, it draws a picture.
I think another big part of streaming for me is I don't like streaming by myself, really. I want to be talking with someone else. I am so much better if I stream if there's someone else in the chat. Like not just in like text chat, but like actually in Discord with me.
Speaking of their voice holes.
Yeah.
Maybe I could have said that less weird. Sorry.
But like, I mean, so most recent games, like, so I can't stream a lot of the games I play. Which is probably the reason why I like having someone in the chat to talk to, because I can't stream and talk with chat on stream. But like World of Warships, I can actually stream that one, and it's kind of like I will talk with chat if someone's in the chat with me, because I don't have to give 100% of my brain effort into that game. Brain effort, mental effort, whatever. But at the same time, it's like it's a fun game to play, and I think people could enjoy it from me. But it's not something I think everyone is going to get behind that game. I think it depends on who you're talking with and who's involved in it. Because streams can not just be like just you; it can be other people involved with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For example, for myself personally, World of Warships isn't super interesting to me, but like Sea of Thieves, that's a lot more interesting to me. And also I can play it with people that I can talk to, and like I was playing Sea of Thieves, I was streaming Sea of Thieves 5 minutes before the podcast started and had a great time.
So yeah, and like I don't like playing Sea of Thieves at all by myself, but when I play with you and Ben, I have a great time.
I wish it was easier to have more than 3 people, but once you get
I
to
wish
4,
you could do 2 sloops, honestly.
I guess you sort of could in a private server, but that's about it.
Yeah, then that's not as great anyways. I still think it's like some of the most ridiculous journeys that like some of the best streams we could have ever had were the ones where it's like we went and fought the skeleton fort and got away with me on a dinghy.
It was pretty great. That video does still exist if you want to put a link to it.
Yeah, I might link it. Unfortunately, you never had. There's no perspective for me on the dinghy, but you know, it still is funny.
Yeah, because you don't have a good enough computer to stream it, right?
Which is hopefully gonna change. I just need freaking parts to be available. Like seriously, nothing's available.
So going back to a topic we kind of skipped over, being physically capable of streaming what you want to stream,
Yes.
you got to
Yeah.
have good equipment,
You gotta have the good equipment. And you gotta have the good internet.
and you have to have I mean, you don't have to have a private space, but like it helps a lot.
It-
Which
It
is
does.
funny because I meet two of those criteria and I'm missing the third. Versus like I think all of us are missing at least one of those criteria.
Yeah.
And so it's just funny to me. It's like I have the perfect, like I'm by myself. I have amazing internet. I have terrible PC.
It also
Well,
helps
not
to have a
terrible, but-
schedule. Like
Yeah.
most successful streamers I know have schedules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Instead of just
also
being like, I have time, I can squeeze a one in right now.
yeah, that's true. I would say you got to put yourself in the viewer's perspective. As like I like a lot of YouTubers that have a daily upload or a like you can predict it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I'm still trying. We'll see everything, the CPU, the GPU, those things are unavailable for what I want, which sucks because if I got them, I can pretty much guarantee I'm able to stream anything I want.
You'll get there eventually.
We'll see if it happens within the month because I really want to be by December streaming high quality.
Is
Yeah.
that when Destiny 2 expansion comes out?
Destiny
No,
2
that
comes
comes out
out in 2
Tuesday.
days.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm late for that already.
are you gonna
I'm really
hold off
bummed.
on that, or are you gonna dive in and bite the bullet there?
I'm gonna. Depends on how much Shadowkeep I get done. Because I need to finish Shadowkeep before I start doing the Beyond Light story. So I plan on definitely if I can. I might hold off on doing Beyond Light storyline until I get stream capability. But I'm definitely gonna be playing Beyond Light for all the other things.
It's
Yeah.
a good motivator to get your computer together.
It's not like I'm not trying.
Right, but it's just a further fuel to the fire.
Yeah, no, that's very true. It's a oh man, the second like I'm ready to instantly spend money. Like me spending money is not the issue here. The issue here is the industry being able to allow me to spend money.
Why don't you want my money, Nvidia?
Just give it to not even Nvidia, also AMD. You can't get their new processors.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Like I tried to buy it the second it came out, and it was like, oh, sold out.
Yeah.
This industry, man.
Freaking COVID plus industry, it's all down. But you know, you take what you can get and you roll with it. So I'm already on a list for the processor to be notified when it comes out again. Unfortunately, you can't. Best Buy doesn't have a method to do that for video cards, so that sucks.
Well, I look forward to your high quality 4K 60 FPS streams when you get your better computer.
I won't be doing 4K. 1080p, people. It's what you stream. But it will be good. It'll be nice quality.
Disappointing.
But I don't have a 4K monitor.
Oh yeah, fair enough. 1080 it is.
I have a 1080 monitor with 144 hertz.
I mean, honestly, that's probably better than mine. So
I also eventually this is the kicker. I plan on being able to stream whenever I get the VR set up.
what are you gonna play in VR?
Star Wars Squadrons for one, Super Hot for another, Beat Saber.
Any horror games?
It
It would be good content. I'm just saying.
Yeah. You're always spouting off about the content,
Yep.
man.
For the content, maybe.
Not
I-
for his sanity.
I already told you
know-
guys this. Like, I will stream horror if we ever hit like a certain subscriber count.
Nah. I will pay you. I'll even buy the game for you because isn't Alien Isolation in
No, frick, no, frick,
isn't
no,
that in
frick, no.
VR?
I
We are-
don't.
we-
I think there's a mod, but it's not official.
Oh.
I think we're starting
Well,
to.
if it ever gets official, like support for VR, John, I'll pay you $200 and buy the game for you to stream all the way through.
Oh, I don't want to have a heart attack at the age of
The
20.
chances of that happening are very low, John. I wouldn't worry about it too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I think we've gone through everything we wanted to talk about for this podcast.
Yeah, I think we covered it all.
And so with that, we've hit our time limit. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Do we want to plug again real quick? Just remind people and mention maybe what you're going to be streaming in the next week.
Yeah, just I'm not spilling it out again because it's horrendously complicated. But just click the link in the description below, and it'll be fine. You'll find your way to me.
And
I'll
and
be
your Jarl Davakin.
yes,
Yes.
and I'll be doing most likely in the next week or so, or coming weeks, playing Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice and losing my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like
Oh.
a fun time to me.
Oh yeah,
Even if you had a mind to begin with.
I don't.
Burn.
How about you, Corellia?
You catch me in random times of the night, usually streaming warships, BattleTech, just anything I feel like.
All
The
right.
only thing I can't do is squadrons yet.
Well, maybe I'll get there. Shane, how about you?
I don't think I mentioned my Twitch channel on this one yet. This podcast specifically, I mean. It's twitch.tv/Smither, Smither with a Y. The link is in the description, ideally. I don't have anything super set in stone, but I'm thinking about starting Blasphemous on stream. And if not that, then finally getting back to Lost Kingdoms 2, which I originally started my YouTube series on that back when that was a plan, but that kind of fizzled out. So I'm thinking about restarting that and actually playing through it on Twitch instead.